Hello everyone. Today we're exploring the Roman Empire. During the classical period, the Roman Empire controlled much of Europe, Western Asia, and North Africa, as well as the Mediterranean. The Romans conquered most of these lands during the Republic, and after Octavian came to power in 27 BC, they were ruled by emperors. By the 4th century AD, the empire was divided into western and eastern halves. The Western Empire collapsed in 476 AD, while the Eastern Empire lasted until the fall of Constantinople in 1453. By 100 BC, the city of Rome had extended its dominion from the Italian peninsula to a large part of the Mediterranean and beyond. However, it experienced significant instability due to civil wars and political conflicts, culminating in Octavian's victory over Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC and his subsequent conquest of the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Egypt. In 27 BC, the Roman Senate granted Octavian extensive military power and the new title of Augustus, marking his accession to the throne as the first Roman emperor. The vast Roman territory was organized into senatorial provinces, governed by proconsuls appointed annually by lot, and imperial provinces, administered by legates belonging to the emperor. The first 2 centuries of the empire witnessed an unprecedented period of stability and prosperity known as the Pax Romana. Rome reached its greatest extent under Trajan, 98 to 117 AD, but a period of increasing hardship and decline began under Commodus, 180 to 192 AD. In the 3rd century, the empire experienced a 49-year crisis that threatened its very existence due to civil war, epidemics, and barbarian invasions. The Gallic and Palmyrene empires broke away from the state, and a series of short-lived emperors ruled the empire. The empire was later reunited under Aurelian. The civil wars ended with the victory of Diocletian, who established 2 separate imperial courts in the Greek East and the Latin West. The first Christian emperor, Constantine the Great, moved the imperial capital from Rome to Byzantium in 330 and renamed it Constantinople. The migration period, which included major invasions by Germanic peoples and Attila's Huns, led to the decline of the Western Roman Empire. The Western Empire finally collapsed with the fall of Ravenna to the Germanic Herulids and the deposition of Romulus Augustus by Odoacer in 476. The Byzantine Empire continued for another 1,000 years, with Constantinople as its sole capital, until its fall in 1453. Thanks to the empire's vastness and durability, its institutions and culture had a lasting impact on the development of language, religion, art, architecture, literature, philosophy, law, and forms of government within its territories. Latin evolved into the Romance languages, while medieval Greek became the language of the East. The empire's adoption of Christianity led to the formation of medieval Christianity. Roman and Greek art had a profound influence on the Italian Renaissance. Roman architectural traditions formed the basis for Romanesque, Renaissance, and neoclassical architecture, which influenced Islamic architecture. The rediscovery of classical science and technology in medieval Europe contributed to the scientific Renaissance and the scientific revolution. Many modern legal systems, such as the Napoleonic Code, are derived from Roman law. Rome's republican institutions influenced the medieval Italian city-state republics, the early United States, and modern democratic republics. From republic to empire. Rome began to expand shortly after the founding of the Roman Republic in the 6th century BC, but it did not extend beyond the Italian peninsula until the 3rd century BC. The Republic was not a nation-state in the modern sense, but a network of self-governing towns and provinces governed by military commanders. It was governed by annually elected magistrates, in conjunction with the Senate. The 1st century BC was a period of political and military turmoil that ultimately led to the rule of emperors. The military power of the consuls was based on the concept of imperium, meaning command, in Roman law. Successive consuls or generals were occasionally granted the honorary title of imperator. This is the origin of the word emperor, as this title was always bestowed upon the first emperor. From the late 2nd century BC onward, Rome experienced a long series of internal conflicts, conspiracies, and civil wars, extending its power beyond Italy. In 44 BC, Julius Caesar briefly served as a perpetual dictator before being assassinated by a faction opposed to the concentration of power. This faction was driven from Rome and defeated. The Battle of Philippi was fought in 42 BC by Mark Antony and Caesar's adopted son Octavian. Antony and Octavian divided the Roman world between them, but this did not last long. Octavian's forces defeated those of Mark Antony and Cleopatra at the Battle of Actium in 31 BC. In 27 BC, the Senate granted him the title of Augustus and made him princeps with proconsular imperium. This began the princely period, the first period of institutionalization in Rome. While the republic existed in name, Augustus retained all meaningful authority. During his 40 years of rule, a new constitutional order emerged, which would subsequently replace Tiberius as the new de facto ruler. Pax Romana. The 200 years beginning with Augustus's rule are traditionally considered the Pax Romana. The empire's unity was further strengthened by a level of social stability and economic prosperity that Rome had never experienced before. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.